There's a lot of people that get too nervous. I'm like, hey, here's the deal. There's a lot of people that can't do what you're doing today. Even if you're just doing the scaled version, there's a lot of people that can't do it. Just
Yes, for sure.
Rising in the dawn, the sun took orders. Faith in the veins, like the blood of the martyrs. Walking through the storm with the armor of light. Blessed in the darkness, soul ignites. Voices in harmony.
All right, hey guys, I'm Nat.
I'm Jess.
And this is the next episode in our podcast here for you guys to help provide any tips for physical, spiritual, and emotional needs. Today is an exceptionally cool episode because we have a guest here.
Yay.
Anyone who has been here a long time at Big Lick, it's Kurt from the good old days.
Yeah, Coach Kurt.
So we will be diving into some talk about the Open, but before that,
Hello, Buffalo.
you want to start us off?
I always start, right? I say it's because I'm the oldest. All right, mine's all in one. It's like one experience for high, low, and Buffalo. No, we did not go to the store yet this week, so maybe I'll have the story next week for that. But we do have, like we talked about bedtime, and that sometimes, like again, I haven't had a super low this week, but I don't know if you have this, bedtime is a struggle, especially for like our 4-year-old. So that is kind of the low, is having that battle and knowing every morning they're going to be so tired and they don't want to get ready. So I'm having this battle and you get a little frazzled. But we read like some Bible stories at the end of each night. And I was reading John the Baptist, and Hannah gets up and like tells me the story of John the Baptist mostly correct. I was like, dang, I don't know if it's me or the school or what, but that was awesome. But then she takes like her little Bible my grandma had given her and like reads it through. I was like, this is so sweet. And then Abby Jo picks up her little Bible that my grandma had given her, and she reads a story about Martha making her a birthday cake. And it's like, oh, we're doing good. And then I look over at Hannah's in the corner, and she's like, Holy Spirit indicates. I'm like, what are you doing? And she just keeps doing this over and over. And I was like, well, I didn't teach you that. And so she starts to go nuts. And then they find this water bottle that's like flexible again. I don't know why all these water bottles are in their rooms. But I had to step out of the room to get something. I come back in, and she's like ready, set, go, and pushing it on the side of the bed with Abby Jo's got her mouth wide open. And she's getting ready to like smash water into her face on the bed minutes before they're supposed to be asleep. So that, I mean, that's the high, the low.
That was a lot. I was going to say that's just chaos in general.
I mean, it's pretty normal. But that's my high, low, Buffalo.
I love it. All right, my high, low, Buffalo. I'm going to start with low. I got a notification on my phone that we are already getting pollen warnings in this area.
Yeah.
And I just moved back from Texas last year, and I'm convinced I'm allergic to Virginia. It's not even March, and I'm already dying.
Just gotta get used to it.
So I don't think that's how it works.
Just gotta get used to it. It's fine.
My high is I started up spring season for my little 11-year-old girls soccer team. So got out on there last week, or like this week, and it's just fun seeing them, little 11-year-olds. And then my Buffalo is just a funny story with them. So in the fall, rewind, one of our directors is from England, so he has an accent. And he came over to wish my girls like a good luck in a game. And they're like, why are you talking like that? I was like, it's a fake accent. Don't even don't believe him. And this girl looks at me dead serious and goes, my dad does that all the time, and it's so annoying. So fast forward to the spring, we could have our first training. And they're asking me about this person. I was like, what are you talking about? Who are you? Like, the guy with the fake accent. And so that was my lesson, that children do not forget anything ever.
100% not, yeah, especially.
So yeah, one of the directors to this day is still known as the guy with the fake accent. I was like, I'm going to get fired. It's fine.
I was going to say, does he know it's fake?
Well, he knows now.
Yeah.
The kids will let them know.
Yeah, they will. You don't tell kids, don't say anything in front of kids that you don't want said to everybody else.
Yeah. Learned that lesson hard this week. Real hard.
Good for parenting advice.
All right, Coach Kurt, high, low, Buffalo.
My low this week was I have not worked out this week.
Oh, no.
Oh, bummer.
That is a low.
Pretty well, she knows that kind of
Yeah, I'd be like twitching. She'd find me on the floor.
To be a functioning human being. My high, I guess, is the Open is starting this week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Friday Night Lights is getting kicked off. That's always a good time at any gym. My Buffalo is, I think I touched on it earlier with you guys, but last night we got to watch the Young Life Capernaum talent show, which was super awesome. If nobody's been to a Capernaum talent show or been involved with Capernaum, it's a lot of fun. And I got to watch my wife Shannon up there. She's the committee chair, and she got to give a little talk to everyone. And Yeah.
That's
it was
so
great.
cool.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome, Buffalo.
Super cool. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, definitely. If you ever have a chance to like go see that or get involved with it, it's a cool
Yeah.
organization.
It's a great ministry.
Yeah, for sure. We got people here at Big Lake involved. All right, I like that. Good
Yeah.
start.
All right. Good start to the day. All right. Well, moving forward, we brought you on because we really want to talk all things the Open.
Yeah.
So before we really hop into that, can you tell us a little more about yourself, your experience coaching, being an athlete,
Sure.
all of
I
it?
would-
Tell us everything.
He's a legend. If you don't know, Kurt was in the very beginning of Big Lake. So in my eyes, he's like the legend of Big Lake.
Thanks, Jess.
Yeah.
Heart and soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess I would say I was an athlete growing up, but really played a lot of rugby. I'm from South Africa originally, played a lot of rugby. Got recruited to come play in the States, that's how I ended up here. And then played rugby at Radford University right down the street for a few years. It's a great team. And then I started actually coaching there as well, so I coached the rugby team for about 5 or 7 years, I think. And then I got old, and
Don't say that. My age. Let me say that.
Happens to most of us.
I stopped playing rugby, and so I needed something to like fill that void in my life. And so I thought CrossFit was just like, kind of like an aerobics class or something. I knew nothing about it, but I heard people talking about it.
Body step aerobics.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll go give it a shot. And I went one time, and I was like, okay, that changes how I'll work out for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I started coaching a little bit at my old gym, which is now my current gym. And then Doug and Tracy asked me to, they're the owners of Big Lake, they asked me to come coach their boot camp with them. And while we started coaching that, we decided to open Big Lake CrossFit. And so I was the only coach at the time.
Yeah. The
Well, Doug
coach.
and Tracy were coaching too, but yeah, we just started Big Lake kind of, it was faith-based. We decided like, we're just going to leave it in the Lord's hands, and which makes business decisions easy. I work in the business world now. If you just leave it in God's hands, it kind of, if it doesn't succeed, it wasn't meant to, which makes it easy. So yeah, we started Big Lake CrossFit, and we decided we weren't going to market Big Lake CrossFit. What we were going to do was let our coaches and our coaching speak for itself and have the athletes market it, and seems like it's turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that foundation that you and Doug and Tracy laid is like still there. Like I think that was so crucial for the success of Big Lake, and it's something that we try to focus on in our current culture building and to keep, because it's so easy to go awry. I feel like with CrossFit or any
Yeah.
business, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that story actually, so I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Yeah, I just remember so I started in July, I think, after it opened, so not too far after it started. But Kurt was like one of those first people who like believed in me. I always feel like I try to do that now, but you see stuff in people before they see it in themselves. So as an athlete, you're super encouraging, like, hey, I can probably maybe do this most days. And then as a coach, you were the first person that says, hey, when are you going to be a coach for us? So I have that like specific memory in my head. So without that encouragement, I don't know if I'm, doing this today. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It was easy to spot. wasn't
I don't know. It's hard. It's like for yourself, like looking at yourself, like, I don't know, like, can I even do, that's what I thought before CrossFit. It's like, I don't know if I could physically do this.
Yeah.
Because my sister was doing it. I was like, yeah, it looks cool, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I think I watched Jess work out one time, and I knew she was a soccer coach, and I was like, yeah, she's a coach.
yeah, we didn't have like 17 right in. Yeah.
A couple of us here.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's real cool. You guys go way back.
Yes, we do. It was cool. Like that.
All right.
I think
well-
we opened in May. And
Yeah,
you
I was
were there
like-
in July.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you were like here right afterwards.
Yeah. Almost got the opening.
It was fresh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving into the Open, tell us a little bit about like personal experiences. Do you remember your first Open?
I actually do, because I have a friend who brought this up the other day, and I started at a gym, and which I'm currently there now, Roanoke Valley CrossFit, and I remember it was like when I joined CrossFit was during the Open, so it was like my third workout.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
talk about jumping in the deep end.
Friday Night Lights didn't exist, but our coach at the time would put people up against each other to push competition. And so I was like up against the guy who's still a good friend of mine, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I felt like I was gonna die. I did that rookie mistake where you go out too hot because you're like excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it
We've all
happens.
been there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I crashed.
Even not as a rookie. Like,
Yeah, that's a rookie too. I feel like this is not stereotyping, but for the male athletes, it tends to be a more prevalent, like coming out hot versus like pacing it. Versus some of the females, you kind of have to get them to go like.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just my experience as a coach over the years.
Yeah, I mean, women are smarter than men.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's it. What do you have any other experiences, either as a coach or an athlete?
I mean, tons of experiences.
Yeah.
I have like not many negatives, but I mean, coaching at Big Lick, we went through like we have elite athletes, so there's all those great memories of like, Ronnie and Richard and like coaching those guys who I was really invested in and trying to get to the games.
Yeah.
Which was cool. I think Ronnie finished like one place out of the games one
Yeah.
time, and having those moments with those guys and just building relationships. But I feel like for me at least, the memories that stick out the most are remember Kit,
Yeah.
one of our athletes. Like I think during the Open, she was a primarily scaled athlete, but I think she did like an RX weight thruster or overhead squat. Like she did one rep and the place went crazy.
Yeah, I love
And,
that.
like, yeah, there's all the muscle up victories where people do their first muscle up and you go nuts.
Yeah.
But like seeing a scaled athlete do an RX movement and just going nuts.
Yes,
is
I love
awesome.
that so much.
Those are the most memorable ones,
Yeah.
really, that I love. But yeah, every year we'd be excited for the Open to come up.
I know. So get those memories in there. There's new stuff like every year.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. So I think we're gonna talk about like your strategies and tips. With all your wealth of information
Yeah.
over the years, I feel like you've got a lot to offer.
Review my tips and strategies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where do you want to start?
Wherever.
well, let's start. If this is let's start from the bottom up. Like, let's say this is someone's very first
There you go.
Open experience,
Yeah.
weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Maybe like mindset, things they should be kind of preparing. Like you're talking about rookie mistake, going out too hot.
Yeah.
I'd also like to dive into, should you do the scaled if you can do some RX movements, or should you try to do the RX to like gauge it? Like, what are your thoughts on all of those different aspects for a newbie?
So, if you're new, the first thing I would not do is watch the pros do the Open announcement.
It's fair.
Yeah, it gives you this false sense of hope. Like, oh, so I'm going to finish before the time cap. That's not going to happen.
Sure.
So I wouldn't watch them, but I would say, like, if you're a scaled athlete, I would stay within your realm. So, what you're capable of and what you can have. I think the most important thing is to just have fun. Like, people get stressed out about the Open, and I'm sure you guys see that Friday Night Lights. People are probably already jittery, or the Beast of Big Lick. Like, just stay within your comfort zone. So if a workout comes up and you can do some of the RX movements, great. Try to do some of those. But if it comes up and like, if you don't have pull-ups and it's burpees and pull-ups, I wouldn't do RX in that case, because then you're going to stare at the pull-up bar the whole time. If you're close to doing pull-ups, go for it.
Yeah.
But I would say for the most part, stay within your wheelhouse and test it out. You can always do it again if you wanted to,
Yeah.
try to do RX, but
Yeah, I think you can push yourself through intensity too. Like I've seen people get to new levels of moving.
I mean,
And yeah.
if I do competitions and like, nowadays with competitions, scaled workouts are like chest to bar.
Oh, I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're way more difficult than an RX competition because, you can only do so many ring muscle ups, but you can do a lot of pull ups in that time. So
Yeah.
I think sometimes scaled workouts are harder.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say have fun. If you're a new athlete, just enjoy it and have fun.
Yeah.
Get pumped up with the crowd.
Yeah.
I like
It's a
that.
good time. Don't go out hot.
Don't go out hot. Yeah.
All right, what's next? We got newbies. What else you got?
So let's go up to like an intermediate, maybe like we're talking about, maybe you have some RX movements, maybe you don't. Because I've heard advice where people are like, if you have some RX, go ahead and do RX because you get more points or you get to try new movements. Like, would you still give that same advice of staying in your wheelhouse if you're a more advanced, like intermediate athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you have some RX movements, you can do RX. For the most part, I feel like the Open is moving more towards a point of like the difficult movements come later on in the workout.
Mhm.
So if you get there, great, try them out. But I would try to stay like you said, within your wheelhouse. But if your wheelhouse is pull-ups, great, do pull-ups. You know?
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on the workout too. Maybe like you
Yeah.
said at the beginning, it's nice when the skilled movement comes towards the end, because
Yeah.
then you get some of the workout in before
Yeah,
you.
and a lot of times people are like, you have to have realistic conversations with the athletes. If they're like, yeah, I don't know if I can do the muscle ups at the end, and be like, here's the deal: not a lot of people are going to get to the muscle ups. So,
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
So like the time frame of the workout, if
Yeah.
you got like an 8-minute time cap, and it might just be the difference of people making it through the wall balls or whatever's before it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then finishing off, do you have any tips for elite athletes?
Or advanced, at least. I don't know how
Yeah.
many elite we
Elite,
have.
elite advanced.
Advanced, yeah.
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 More experience.
I mean, I think when you see an open workout come up, like some of the things that strike me is to remember that it's cumulative, right? So don't watch the pros first of all if you're like a pretty advanced intermediate athlete, because they're gonna knock it out the park, and that can be demoralizing at some point. Have fun again, but yeah, I think to think about workouts as being cumulative. So not seeing a workout that is like 10 rounds of like, whatever it is, 10 wall balls, 5 pull-ups, and 5 whatever squats. Think of it as, okay, it's going to be 100 wall balls, 50 pull-ups, and 50 squats.
Mm-hmm.
When you get through, because otherwise you get to, what happens is you get to, if there's 15 pull-ups and you see like the pros are doing sets of 8 and 7, and you're like, I can do 8 and 7, that's fine. Probably start doing 3s, right? And then
Yeah, just
work your
be
way up,
realistic.
because just being realistic with your capacity, how much you can do in a short amount of time,
Yeah.
Smart.
I think matters. And then when you get to the lifts, a lot of times in the open they'll have like a workout, 2-minute break, and then lifting.
Right.
I would say like get done with the workout, fire breathing and everything you have to do with that, and then use your break. And then the first weight you hit, make sure it's a weight you can hit and you're comfortable hitting. And
Yeah.
you hit warming up, and then start building after that. I wouldn't jump into something that you think is
Right.
a
Ridiculous,
heavy
yeah.
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I would say
Yeah.
is like too many people do open workouts cold. You should be sweating pretty decently when you start a workout. You should never be cold. I think that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I think that's a good reminder for us when we coach these, like to get their athletes' heart rate up a little bit.
Yes.
Because I've done those workouts where it's like bike and thrusters, and I've been doing like bench press for a while. I'm like, oh, my heart rate's at like 60. I'm dying.
Yeah, go from 60 to 180.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're actually dying. I don't actually work out.
Yeah.
Saw that on Monday. All right.
Did you have any more questions with that?
Not with the strategy. I think I covered it. So yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, what do you think it's important if you're just gonna take away like one thing each year from the Open, or your advice? Because it's easy to get your energy going all different areas, trying to focus on accomplishing goals or hitting, a certain benchmark. But like, what if you had one thing to tell an athlete to take away from the Open overall? What would you tell them?
I mean, for me, if I do the Open and something doesn't go according to plan, I'd set goals for the next year.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, if I couldn't deadlift a certain amount of weight, the goal is then, okay, great, let's figure out, let's work on deadlifts. Let's get better 1% every time we train.
Yeah.
So setting goals and then looking at your overall ranking. That's why I think the Open is good. You don't have to sign up for the Open. You can still do Friday Night Lights, but everything we do in CrossFit is trackable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how you prove results. And so seeing how you competed last year, maybe you finished 27,540th. Like the next year, my goal is 27,539 or below.
Yeah.
And trying to set that as a goal instead, or the percentage wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever you can hit, because if you get stuck in numbers, it can go bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that though, because we did a whole podcast on goal setting, and I think this is maybe like even better than like New Year's. This might be a better time to set goals because it's like testing yourself.
Yeah, it is a test.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an annual test
Yeah.
that you do. Just
Yeah.
like when we redo workouts in here.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And often there are workouts that come up.
Yeah,
On
for
the
sure.
bad side of that, my wife and I have very small kids, and so working out has not been in the forefront of our minds lately.
Yeah.
And we've been doing some Open repeats, and I'll go back and I check my score. I'm like, that's not.
Well, it's a different time of life.
Yeah.
I'll quote you in a story. You told me this. I think I was pregnant with Hannah, and it's and even if you've had kids before, like trying to work out pregnant when you previously worked out not pregnant, it is a mental game. And you put like a line on a table and you made like one little mark and you said, this is the season in your life.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to last forever, you know? So I was used to like training hard and pushing myself and it's like, screech, stop. So it took me a while to get used to that mentally, but yeah, I do remember that. We got seasons. Everything's a season, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You're not in it forever. I was going to ask you, like, so we are recording this a couple hours before the actual announcement for the first one.
Yeah.
So we don't know any of the workouts right now, but do you have any guesses on, it doesn't have to be the first one.
Yeah. I actually want to know your predictions for 25.1 and .2, since we're doing it before both of them.
There you go.
Okay. I haven't even thought about that. I would say, like, typically the first open is something that it has one skill, so you're probably looking at maybe at double unders. I think double unders has been in the open every year since they started.
Yeah.
Gosh, you got me, because normally I used to, when I was coaching a lot, this was like my skill.
Yeah.
This was
Just
my
guessing
spiritual
it, yeah.
gift.
Each pro
Guessing,
spiritual
yeah.
gift is guessing I like that.
Yeah, I would say probably one skill movement and then not a heavy weight and cardio. So they usually do something with dumbbells in the first one, maybe something dumbbells, double unders, and a box jump or something.
Yeah, I could see that because I feel like they want people, because people still sign up even after the first one's announced.
Yeah.
So if it's like, all right, 30 ring muscle ups, they'd be like, no thanks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so I don't think, and I think they're starting to learn from the mistakes about, you know, there's a lot of restrictions with gym and equipment, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the shuttle runs are hard to do in a full gym, and
Yeah, that's true.
wall walk. Maybe we'll see wall
I
walks.
feel like we can see wall walks
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
Should
that's
have
been coming up a lot.
smaller heats, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a rower in there. I don't know if that was the part of the equipment list this year.
I don't know. I
but-
think they announced one. I tried to look for one. I didn't see an equipment
Yeah.
list, but I also didn't spend a ton of time researching it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so look out for double unders and a dumbbell movement.
yeah, I can see that.
That's my guess.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
I like it.
You think, is that for 1 and 2?
No,
Or do you
I think in number 2 they'll bring out a barbell, a heavy
A barbell?
Heavy barbell?
Yeah, maybe some deadlifts, some heavy deadlifts.
Oh, I would
Be good for you.
all about
That's
that.
your
That would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great. That as long as I don't hurt myself.
Yeah, I remember that. Actually, Ronnie remembers this, but there was that heavy deadlift handstand walk workout a few years ago,
Yeah.
and I have a picture of Ronnie face planting.
We did that.
Oh,
I forget. That picture came up somewhere recently.
Can you give me that picture? I'm gonna get that on social media.
Yeah.
Everyone can walk on their hands until, well, not everyone, but if you can walk on your hands, you can do it until you do 30 deadlifts at 315, and then all of a sudden, like, everything
Yeah.
goes off the window.
Ronnie is awesome.
Yeah.
The fact that he can do all that stuff. I mean,
Oh,
you think
That's
last,
incredible.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think he did like ring muscle ups last year when he
Yeah,
was in the
Ronnie's my
semis.
hero.
Yeah.
I want to be like Ronnie. when I
Yeah.
grow
Right.
up.
For real. Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any more like open related questions?
Yeah, any last minute open things you wanted to throw in there for the good of the group?
No, just remember to work on your goals, and small wins, I think, are a lot of times small wins can be big victories.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that.
And if you're coaching in a gym, just the vibe should always be casual and kind of fun, and let's not take ourselves too seriously. Let's have a good time, but
Yeah.
also track your fitness. You should celebrate your fitness too, I think.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
see, that's what I said.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that get too nervous. I'm like, hey, here's the deal. There's a lot of people that can't do what you're doing today. Even if you're just doing the scaled version, there's a lot of people that can't do it. You're still
Yeah,
in
so
the top
true.
percentage.
I think
So
too,
celebrating that.
like to me, celebrating is almost a form of thankfulness.
Yeah.
You know, like it's showing appreciation for what you can do.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard. Sometimes I get on myself for what I can do, but I mean, if I celebrate what I can do, it's showing gratitude for that. So I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think being thankful for the physical gifts God's given us all, and
Yeah.
you know, being able to use those and better in your life.
Yeah.
One crazy CrossFit workout.
Yeah. It does seem, doesn't it seem
Yeah.
crazy like every day? Like, why are we doing this?
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you should not take it seriously, but when I was into it hard, you know, I was like, oh boy,
This is everything.
Yeah.
dialing down rep movements and scalings and progressions for workouts, and
Yeah.
yeah, just getting, you know, into the technical stuff with elite athletes, counting your reps, counting your breaths between each rep, things like that really helps.
Yeah.
You can't work out if you can't breathe. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that should be our motto.
That's, yeah.
Put that in the bottom of the screen. Can't work out if
That's
you
gonna
can't
be the
breathe.
title of this episode.
That's gonna be me on tomorrow. Like, I can't breathe. I can't work out. Panic. There we go. Forget my fitness. Well, if you don't have any questions, I have a short little like scriptural pep talk.
Let's go.
Are you ready for this? I heard this when I was driving my kids home, and I listened to Christian radio for the most part, and they had a little 60-second devotional. This is me driving my minivan because I'm super cool. What? That's not a joke.
The swagger wagon.
Swagger wagon,
Yeah.
isn't that? Yeah. See, Kurt appreciates it. Thank you.
Someone who doesn't have kids, I cannot relate.
She's not a lot of swagger lately, right?
Yeah.
It's very true.
When Jess first started at Big Leg, she was very shy and like, reserved, and I feel
Yeah.
like you've come out your shell.
Yeah, a little bit. It's her fault.
Yeah. I have that effect on people.
It's crazy.
If you had told me 10 years ago, Jess would be doing a podcast.
Oh god, you had told me like a month ago. No.
No way.
No. But,
Jess is like the kind. I remember that day you broke your wrist,
oh yeah.
and she was doing
I've heard of that.
massive
Yeah.
squat cleans, and just like super calm. Yeah, just think I broke my wrist.
I told Chance to finish the class.
Yes.
He's like, no, I'm driving you to the doctor. I'm like, all right.
Yep.
Arm was just dangling.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't
Not a
that
big
bad.
deal.
The bone was not sticking out or anything. It's
Yeah.
fine. Oh, anyways, here we are. Pep talk. So if you know the story of Gideon, right? So God called Gideon to like save his people basically from oppression, right? Because these like Midianites or whatever were oppressing the Israelites. And if you remember, I don't remember Gideon's response, but he was like, me? Like my family is the least. There's no. Like his faith was not great. But when God greeted him, he said, greetings, Gideon, mighty warrior. Or another translation was man of valor, mighty man of valor. So God called him that before he even was that. Like he saw that in him. And he called him that because God would be that for him. But then he said, go with the strength you have. He didn't say like manufacture a whole bunch of strength first and then go. He said, take the strength you have and go. And then God was going to meet him on the way and be that strength for him. I just thought that was so cool. Like you don't have to, if you feel ill-equipped for this, for the open or whatever, go with the strength you have. Like God sees you as a man or woman of valor, and he will meet you as you're stepping on the way. So if you're afraid of the open or whatever, or you feel not prepared for, like, just go with the strength you have, and God will meet you where you are. So that's my spiritual pep talk for the day.
That was a great pep talk.
You like that?
I
love
do
pep
like
talk.
that. Yes.
It's my
Hey,
little soccer coach.
I have questions for you guys.
Oh, yes.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just flipped this podcast.
Oh,
around.
no.
What are your goals for the open?
Oh,
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
Okay. Well, my goal is always, I did my interview.
I was gonna say I already know what yours
Yeah,
is.
mine is always to bring Jesus glory. And so that is through like my effort, and my attitude is sometimes the harder thing. But, I'd like to improve my fitness. So if God has given me the ability to do more workouts than I used to be able to as the kids get a little bit older, like I want to make the most of that and be a good steward of what he's given me. So overall, to bring Jesus glory and to do my very best with what I have for this open. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is kind of like what you were saying, to have fun. I'm a very anxious person. I don't like working out in front of people at all. She knows. And so my focus is what I can do and not what I can't do. I'm just trying to enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it's important to remember that athletes are watching coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about this when I was coaching, but like they look up to coaches, and so if they see you nervous and stressed out, they're going to be nervous and stressed out. But if you're having fun, that relates, and
Yeah.
they
you're
remember,
right.
they're paying attention. Like Jess said, I don't really remember telling you that story, but I do believe that about the the
the
time.
little season thing, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that it's just a season, but yeah, they're always watching you, so
Yeah.
it's important to remember.
That's what we were talking about before this. I'm shocked when people listen to me because I feel like at home nobody listens to me. Bless Travis's heart, he tries. But the kids, it's like nothing. It's registering some days. So, but people are, people pay more attention than you think.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, my kids don't listen to me, but they listen to Shannon.
Yeah. Well, that's good. They don't listen to me. You go, girl.
Yeah, she's a great mom.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really
You're
appreciated this.
Yeah,
I think
thanks for having me.
everyone else is going to appreciate it.
Back.
Anytime you want to come back.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. This is fun.
Yeah, we usually come watch the Beast of Big Lick every year.
Oh yeah.
For the athletes. That's
Yeah.
the best day of the year at Big Lick.
The Beast of Big Lick is so good, yeah. That talking about people doing more than they think they can. That's one of those
Yeah.
days. It's super fun.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
great what you guys are doing here. Keep
Yeah.
doing the good work.
We're trying.
Ryan.
You laid the foundation.
Yeah,
All right. Anything else?
No, I think it's good. Good.
Another one.
great.
You're right.
Good luck with the open.
Thank you.
too.